Thanks for plugging into this conversation today. Kind of some crazy, exciting times that we're living in. The market's nuts. The industry is changing. Honestly, the entire economy is changing. And through this pandemic, if you're like us, you've done a ton of reflecting. Today, I'm going to run through kind of our assessment of where things are at and the decisions that we've made in response. My name is John Barneck. I'm a managing broker, currently overseeing the state of Illinois, and one of the team leaders with Inspired Partners. I started in real estate when I was 23 years old. Walked away from a full-time factory job. Everyone thought I was crazy back then, but I had two thoughts. One, if I'm not good at real estate, I could always find another job. I never thought that would be an issue. Two, if I am good at real estate, I may never have to work a job again. And my best friend's mom was a top producer, crushing it with Century 21, and she pretty much took me under her wing. I worked with her for about a year. I loved the income that she made, but I really didn't like the lifestyle. And I had this thought that, I know there's people that make this much money that don't necessarily work this hard or like this consistently to get it. So ultimately, I realized that that's not where I wanted to end up either. Now, before I go too deep into our story, right, and finish up how we got to where we're at today, I first want to establish a common baseline goal that I think all like-minded people share, and that is the true American dream. In my opinion, that's financial freedom. Now, this conversation won't be for everyone. At different points throughout, some will drop off, and honestly, that's okay. However, some will wonder, where's this business proposal been my entire life? In the end, this is just a simple business conversation. No more, no less. Check your emotions at the door. And I'm confident for those that are open and need to hear it, it's a proposal that you simply won't be able to overlook if you just look at it as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. Now, question, as it relates to being a realtor, how are your peers doing? And I think the perfect question to follow that up with is, do you know a retired real estate agent? If not, why not? Here are some of the stats that we saw. It's an 87% failure rate. The average tenure is only 7 years. Attrition is high. We call it the grass is greener mindset. The splits and caps that you're given to your company, is there a way for you to earn those back? In the traditional team structure, which in my opinion is just a smaller version of the bigger problem, and most entrepreneurs that want to start a team see too many disadvantages to even go down that path. And then finally, perpetual production. People are just stuck in that loop, continually producing. And finally, agents are on an income roller coaster, and they have to do that perpetual production in order to keep their life up. Well, to those that are like-minded and listening to me now, I've got a question for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is financial freedom for you? If you said 7 or higher, then we are like-minded. And if you said 7 or higher, how do you plan on achieving your financial freedom with what you're doing now? Can you really afford to stay in the old, antiquated model that you're in right now? Do you really want to be 70 years old, still doing 40 or 50 transactions a year, open houses, showing buyers properties? Aren't you getting tired yet? Do you really love it that much? Honestly, if you do, and that answer is yes, stay where you are. Keep doing what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with that. But depending on how important financial freedom is to you, and or if that answer is no, remember what I said earlier. For some, what you're hearing is going to start to resonate. And you've got this nagging feeling that there has to be a better way. Well, there is. And keep listening. Question. Have you ever helped someone decide to get a real estate license or get into real estate altogether? How about help someone find a client, fill out a contract, respond to an agent or an attorney or an inspection? Now, what did you get in return for the time that you invested? I know, right? You did it out of the goodness of your heart. Okay, that's all good, but what impact did that have on your own productivity and your own revenue? How much revenue did your effort create for another person? and or contribute to their freedom or their financial independence or their what we like to call residual profit from their business. Well, the truth about financial freedom, Tony Robbins says, financially free people have multiple streams of income, at least 5, oftentimes 7, and they trade their time in no more than one of them. The cash flow quadrant, something that I learned a while ago, it's changed my life. So the left side, actively earned income, is where 95% of the population resides, but only 5% of the wealth. On the right-hand side, you have passive income. There's only 5% of the population, but 95% of the wealth. I don't want to get too in depth into this, but please do some research on it. When I understood this, it changed my life. Could do the same for you. John D. Rockefeller says, I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. Now, what makes KW or any other national brand so productive? Is it their training? Is it their culture, their marketing? No, it's none of that. It's distribution. So what did Gary Keller ultimately realize? He realized that he needed to grow and incentivize teams, decentralize distribution by creating independently successful and producing agents. Financial freedom in the brokerage space only comes from leverage, leveraging other people's time, i.e. growing your agent roster. Now, you can invest in real estate, and that's fantastic. We do it here. We're passionate about it. It's another great way to create leverage and passive income, and we can also help you do that here with us. So how can you leverage other agents' time in your current model? Just like Gary Keller and other broker owners do. Again, probably about to start losing people here, but that's okay. Ideally, and what the system says right now, is you need to start a team. I get it, right? I understand the feeling because, again, the traditional approach of building a team is a little more than a traditional brokerage within a traditional brokerage. And remember the stats that I shared earlier. Same revolving door, right? Or attrition's high cost, risk, and liability. But distribution is always going to win. So what can you do? Well, what if there was a way to immediately increase your split on your personal production? Have a low cap to hit and then go to 100%. Have a clear path to getting that cap money back for the work that you're already doing. Earn equity in your partnering firm, again, for what you're already doing. And build a new and different kind of team, which creates independently successful distribution with or without your involvement. And do all that with little or no overhead, risk, or liability. Being able to create the same residual profit you would likely receive if you started your own firm. The national average is 5%. And then what if all of that then started to free up your time so you could focus on growth, focus on mentoring and producing, while your partner handles the fulfillment, like the operations, and the administration side of the business? Well, with one state license, you can grow your business and residual profit internationally, eventually retire from personal production without sacrificing income, that is, if you want to. So back to my story. While I was networking, I met what is now my partner through an investing community, and we shared, and he shared with me that cash flow quadrant, which, like I mentioned, again, it changed my mindset and ultimately changed my life. So I left the Century 21 and decided to start our own firm. We decided to start our own firm. Given our perception of the business, now this is in 2015, mind you, we created our own model with one goal in mind: change the stats. So we sat down with our agents that together we came up with a model. Ultimately, we were committed to sharing what every agent helped us create. We wanted to give back to them in the form of revenue and in the form of equity. Through the pandemic, though, we realized that our goal to build a national brand would require us to be someone that we ultimately weren't. If we wanted to achieve our goal, we would need to acquire greater resources than we currently had. We decided the best way to do that was to partner with a firm that was similar to who we were, but had progressed further than we had. Excuse me. We also wanted to focus on growth and our agent partners. not on running or managing the business. Merging with the right partner would allow us to do just that. Now we are focused on our broker partners, helping them set goals, plan, take action, and build their businesses. Given that our success is tied to theirs, it's ultimately the most important thing that we could possibly do. Who are we? Well, as indicated by my last point, we are admittedly different. We believe this industry is in distress and ripe for disruption. We believe that agents have been taken for granted for far too long. They've simply been leveraged to ownership as a means to owners being able to build their own success, their own freedom, and their own legacies. In addition to the traditional income stream of commission and personal production, we wanted to train and educate our broker partners on how to build a real estate business, become real estate entrepreneurs by having enterprises that agents could scale and create value in. As far as legacies go, 77% of small businesses, family-owned businesses, do not survive from one generation to the next. We were also determined to set up a business that would finally change that stat as well. So we started our search. And quite frankly, we figured there was only one place for us to go, eXp. And we were making that decision, in the process of making that decision, without feeling 100% confident about it, but we just really didn't think we had any other choice. However, believing as we do that we can manifest outcomes, we opened our minds to the possibilities, and then boom, another company fell into our lap. As we did our due diligence and discovered a company built almost exactly like ours, and more importantly, for the same reasons that we built ours, the decision was easy, and we began to merge our team into this firm. Overnight, we went from one state here in Illinois to 36 states and one province in Canada so far. Overnight, our training resources were 10 times what they were as an independent. Overnight, our risk and liability were all but eliminated. Overnight, we were able to become laser focused on growth and leadership. Overnight, we had an equity stake in a publicly traded company literally on the ground floor. That company is Real. Real shared our goal of providing a different career path for those agents that have freedom and quality of life as a high priority. Real created a financial plan that positions an agent to create multiple streams of income and therefore multiple exit strategies once they decide to shift from personal production to mentoring their teams and their leaders. I emphasize the difference between Real and other companies. Choosing a structure that supports our culture of service and hard work. Equity awards and purchases with company matching of highly competitive splits and low caps with the opportunity to get much, if not all of that money back. And a simple residual structure, again, that matches the company's culture, productivity, and service. Now, who are we? Inspire Partners under the Real umbrella. We've got web-based lead capture tools for building your personal seller and buyer pipelines, social media tools to build your personal brand covering first and second tier platforms, 2 leads programs, one providing off-market seller leads, currently $9,000 plus, and an in-house cash buyer to drive listing opportunities. Another leads program providing qualified sellers and buyers with that are ready to take action. A strategic relationship with the next big technology company driving a client search and capturing leads from your own listings. Web and mobile-based business management tools so that managing files is clear and concise. Transaction management and customer service model meant to free up your time and deliver a steady, consistent experience for every client you work with. Most importantly, for us, field training. These are for newbies, but your mentor will go into the field with you and teach you / show you how to work with clients and utilize their systems. An agent attraction system so that you can take full advantage of our agent financial plan. And we have also diversified into the financial services world, giving us the opportunity to provide a more holistic approach when serving our clients. So, here's our proposal. We partner together. You join Team Inspire. Together we build an enterprise that first creates freedom for you and your family, and then we continue to grow that business to create freedom for every additional partner we bring on that is coachable, that shows up, and does the necessary work. Honestly, if you stayed this long, it just seems to me that we ought to welcome you onto the team. We're doing great trailblazing things with real estate and money. And in the end, if you don't feel compelled to totally commit to what you've heard me share today, then don't set up an appointment with me. We really don't want toe dippers. This is where, if you're ready, we partner. We partner to do something extraordinary and begin to help and impact more clients and more realtors. If you are sure that you are compelled, set an appointment. Then watch the rest of the videos on the next page so we can really dive into the details in our conversation. If you're unsure, watch the rest of the videos anyway. Digest all the information shared. It's just information. It won't hurt you. We really are just an open book with what we have to offer. Then invest the time to find clarity for yourself. And if you're compelled, then let's have a chat. Let's get into the details of what this proposal could do for you, your business, and generations of your family. Thank you for your time. We look forward to hearing from you and talking to you. Well, talking to those that are like-minded.